In the 1840s, Vienna General Hospital was one of the most prestigious medical institutions in the world, but inside its walls, a silent killer was stalking the maternity ward. Expectant mothers faced a terrifying lottery. If you were admitted to the first clinic run by doctors and medical students, your chance of dying was 1 in 10, but if you went to the second clinic run by midwives, your chance of survival was almost certain. What was the difference? The doctors had no idea. They blamed the weather, a mysterious miasma, even the anxieties of the mothers themselves, but they were missing a horrifying invisible truth. The disease was called childbed fever. It was a swift and brutal killer, turning the joy of birth into a death sentence. One young Hungarian doctor, Ignaz Semmelweis, was haunted by this disparity. He couldn't accept the official explanations. The pattern was too clear, too consistent. He observed everything. He noted that the doctors and students in the first clinic would often come directly from the autopsy room to the delivery ward. They would perform dissections on the dead and then, without washing their hands, they would examine the living. The midwives in the second clinic, however, never touched cadavers. The connection felt chillingly obvious to Semmelweis, yet invisible to everyone else. Then, a tragic breakthrough. A close friend of Semmelweis, a pathologist, cut his finger during an autopsy and died soon after from symptoms identical to childbed fever. In that moment, Semmelweis saw it all. It wasn't a miasma, it was something physical, something carried from the dead to the living on the unwashed hands of the healers themselves. He called them cadaverous particles. Today we would call them bacteria. He proposed a radical, almost insultingly simple solution. He instituted a strict policy. Every doctor and student had to wash their hands in a chlorinated lime solution before entering the maternity ward. The results were immediate and miraculous. The death rate in the first clinic plummeted by 90%. It dropped from over 18% to just 2%, matching the safety of the midwives' clinic. He had solved the puzzle, he had saved countless lives, he expected to be hailed as a hero. He was wrong. The medical establishment didn't celebrate him. They attacked him, they ridiculed him. Why? Because his discovery wasn't just a medical finding, it was an accusation. It implied that doctors, gentlemen of science, were responsible for the deaths of their own patients. Their belief was that a gentleman's hands were by definition clean. To suggest otherwise was to attack their very identity. It's a powerful psychological lesson. When evidence conflicts with our core beliefs, especially our belief about who we are, we often reject the evidence, not the belief. Semmelweis's data was flawless, but he couldn't change their minds because he was asking them to change their identity. And for that, they destroyed him. Frustrated and ostracized, Semmelweis grew erratic. He wrote furious, open letters to the great doctors of Europe, calling them murderers. His behavior became increasingly unstable. In 1865, he was committed to an insane asylum. 2 weeks later he died. The irony is sickening. He died of sepsis from an infected wound on his hand, the very type of infection he had fought his entire life to prevent. It would be decades before the work of Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister would prove the germ theory of disease, vindicating Semmelweis completely. Today, every doctor in the world washes their hands. His story is a brutal reminder that the greatest obstacle to progress is often not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. It's the powerful, invisible beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world that are the hardest to wash away. It makes you wonder, what simple, life-changing truth are we refusing to see today, simply because it challenges a belief we're not ready to let go of? For more stories about the rebels and visionaries who changed how we see the world, subscribe and join our search for hidden history.